fucking Cubs offense, they just bludgeon. If you make a mistake, they will bludgeon you. Even if you don't make a mistake, they might bludgeon you. That's the only way they're getting all this done. I mean, they are the same record as the Giants, 22-14. Um, Certainly not because they have a good bullpen, and now their starting rotation is starting to fall apart, or has fallen apart, as we already experienced. Justin Steele out for the season with elbow surgery. Now Shota Imanaga goes out Sunday and has a hamstring issue that has now landed him on the IL. As of recording, I was a little bit busy this afternoon, so I didn't see if the news broke, like what the actual injury is, like the severity of the hamstring pull, what it is.
I didn't get any alerts about it, and I know I
Okay,
would
you've
have.
got your fancy
Yeah,
watch over there telling you everything that's going on. So
I got watch, phone. It'd be coming in on the iPad. I got it all covered.
well, if you get an alert during the show, let us know. So, but I mean, a hamstring is never good for any athlete. They're just touchy. I mean, you can't, even if you feel fine, you can't just go 100% immediately. They just take forever. Kind of like an oblique injury, but any kind of soft tissue injury, I guess. But the weird thing with Imanaga is his previous start, he was cramping
Cramp.
in his quad in the other leg. I mean, at first, like on Sunday at least, when he was came out of the game, it was like, oh shit, it's that same thing going on. But it was actually a different muscle group in a different leg. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if that means he needs. He pitched all last year on the American five-day rotation, which is a step up from the 6-day or 6 days of rest or whatever they typically get in Japan. So it's hard to say that's the issue, because he should be used to that regimen now. It's just weird to have two separate leg issues in 2 weeks, and one now that's landed him on the IL. So hopefully it's not too severe. Even so, even if it's a mild strain, I would think that's a month, because he can't do anything. He can't be on a mound. I don't know. That's another issue with a leg injury. There's not a whole lot you can do. Can't do running or keep it in shape that way. So I don't know. It's concerning nonetheless. So what the fuck do the Cubs do? They've lost the 40% of their rotation, the top 40% of their rotation already. I mean, you could include Javier Assad in that. That would be what we thought was going to be their rotation. That'd be 60% of their rotation is gone that we thought they were going to have on opening day. So they've got some work to do. Of course, we talked immediately when Justin Steele went down about how they needed a trade for somebody, but who the fuck is trading right now? That was in April. We are in early May the 6th. By the way, happy Kerry Wood 20 strikeout day
Yes,
anniversary. I think it's 27 years to the day.
I was gonna bring that up probably
Yeah.
at the end when we all forgot about it.
Yeah. Hey, we're not forgetting shit now. Weird. But I still, this is still way too early for any team. The Marlins, every time, we're speculating Sandy Alcantara would be available at some point, but that's again,
And he's not very good right now.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
I haven't even looked at his stats, but
Oh God, he's been fucking terrible.
well, that might be an advantage if they suppress his value a little bit, because I think over the long term he'll be just fine. So, but I don't think there's any incentive for, certainly with the stats down. I think the Marlins would rather be trading high than selling low, although they are a stupid organization, so who knows? But it just, trade is not realistic. What is realistic, seemingly, is to call up a prospect, and the Cubs happen to have one of the best pitching prospects in the game, Cade Horton. And we've talked about him from time to time, but he is the perfect call-up candidate right now. But for some reason, I fear that the Cubs will not do it. I'll explain why. But right now, Cade Horton has, I think it's 6 starts. He's got a 1.24 ERA, 0.86 WHIP. He struck out 33 batters over 29 innings. Like, call the dude up. Like, every sign points to calling him up. They have a need. This wasn't certainly their plan. If no one got hurt, they wouldn't be calling him up immediately. But I feel like the risk-averse Jed Hoyer is going to drag his feet on this and not actually do it. They'll call up somebody else. I forget the list of candidates they might call up, but the precious Cade Horton, I don't think will, mainly because he missed most of last season. He went out last year in late May, I think. So he's basically been gone for a year, and the only pitching he's done has been this season. Those stats I just pointed out, 33 innings. So while they've been stellar, I could see the risk-averse Jed Hoyer, not wanting to push it and jeopardize that that arm at this point. And I'm just it's a broken record. I'm just sick of the risk-averse conservative attitudes of the Cubs, both in how they manipulate their roster and how they spend money. And this is, I fear, is just going to be another example where the Cubs are too scared to do something bold. And the fans want to see it. Everyone is talking about Cade Horton. This is not a unique podcast segment. I'm not the first to be calling for Cade Horton. I've heard it all over the place. It seems to make too much sense, and for those reasons, I think it won't happen. And I think Cubs fans are going to be disappointed. Fortunately, the offense is such a fucking juggernaut. It might not matter who's pitching. It's crazy. I just can't see those. It doesn't seem sustainable. Although, I mean, with guys with Kyle Tucker in that lineup, it just changes everything. So it lengthens out that lineup. You got Piquet Armstrong just crushing the ball, and he didn't even get off to a great start. He's just figuring it out now. So Dansby Swanson's starting to hit now. So maybe that's the idea. Just let the offense carry them into midsummer and then make a deal at some point. But someone's gonna have to throw the ball. We saw with the Tigers at the end of last year, they used pitching chaos was the term they coined. Was basically bullpen days every game. They only had Turk Skubal and maybe Kader Montero. So they basically had 1.5 starters, and the rest of the games were basically the bullpen. Well, that miraculously worked for the Tigers. I don't think that was a strategy that you could use. It was amazing. It lasted for 2 months, but into the playoffs even. You can't start that shit in May, and you certainly can't start that shit with the kind of bullpen the Cubs have right now. So I maybe they're forcing themselves into pitching chaos, but that's not going to be a great outcome that I can see. So I guess we will see. There's going to be more news on that. Lots more news. Certainly that we haven't heard the severity of the Shota Imanaga injury. That might dictate things as well. If that's more than a month, if that's like a 3-month injury, they find out that could change things, could change the decision making process. I don't know.
Wordhole Media.